What's up, good people? What it do? What it do? What's happening with you? What's happening? I had a little conversation that I thought would be a good conversation for the YouTube crowd because most of my Instagram crowd, most of them, not all of them, most of them is from my area. What's good? What's good? What it do? So I had a conversation with a person, and I didn't want to make the title about them, and I didn't want to make the title about cooperating or not cooperating. I'm kind of getting tired of that whole line of conversation. Like the code is the code, it is what it is. But I was in a conversation. I went over a friend of mine house. Let me just start it here. I went over a buddy of my house and he had company, just to keep it vague in general. He had company. In the process of that, we was looking at TV and social media, typical things you do when you socialize. A dude name came up. In the process of the dude name coming up, a conversation arose about the dude. This one particular person kept saying, "Oh, he's a bitch ass nigga. He's hot." So I don't know if the person hot or not. I don't really care. Just to make that a point for what I'm talking about, I don't really care, right? Some type of way, my man say he hot. Who he told on? The person said, "What you mean? Who he told on? Look, he took a cop. He only got this much time. Everybody else got that much time." First and foremost, the person wrong as a mug. I know one of the dude co-defendants, got 4 years less time than him. Now, I'm not saying none of this to say that the dude is not hot. What I'm talking about is when I asked the person why the cop made the person hot, we could go into the hot conversation because I do want to go into the conversations people be in, especially if you're from the streets, right? The justification for why the person was calling the other person hot was solely because they pled guilty. Okay. Now, this person that I'm talking about, I learned that they not even a criminal. They might have broke the law, been in a fight, or had a speeding ticket or something, but they not a criminal. They blurt out as a substantiation of what they're talking about. I'm going to trial for everything. I'm going to trial for anything. I'm going to trial always. That should sound real good for a person to say it, right? So I asked the person, I said, "Yo, you ever been to trial? You ever been close to trial? Like some people get locked up and plead guilty or get the shit dismissed." They had never been close to trial. They had never been charged with anything, never been charged with anything significant. And what I mean by significant, I ain't calling the crime significant. I'm saying they had never been charged with anything that carries significant time or mandated significant justice. So I told my man later on, I say, home, I said, I really don't like getting in them conversations. I said, here it is, me and you have spent decades in prison. You did 10 years, I did 17 years. You went to trial, I pled guilty on the junk that I went in on. How are we gonna have a conversation with a person that has never been in that much jeopardy? I don't believe that they should be able to talk from a standpoint like in a conversation with people who had already been through it. You can't be an equal. It's almost like me going, like, for an example, I remember when I used to go to the country. This is a little off topic, but it'll make point. It'll make my point. When I used to go to the country to visit my people's house, my farm, my grandmother's farm, and all that shit down there in the country, my uncles, they get together and they drink. That's what they like to do. In the process of them drinking, they would talk about Vietnam. I never been to Vietnam. Yeah, I could sit in a conversation and listen, interject, ask questions, talk about what I think, what I've learned, what I seen on TV, what I read. But I ain't never been in the trenches with them in Vietnam. So when they get to talking about decisions that they made that were life and death, for the sake of the conversation, I can interject, but I've never been in that situation. You get what I'm saying? Easy to say something when you've never been in a predicament. You get my point. And I really just didn't want to entertain the conversation based on that. But I understand how a lot of these conversations in society, let me not say in the free world or the streets, let me just say conversations in society. A lot of these conversations in society are held by people that don't know what they're talking about. But once again, it's a couple more people in here. Let me ask the question again. Has anybody ever been in trial? Excuse me. Has anybody ever been to trial? And has anybody ever had to plead guilty to something? And I ain't talking about no domestic Jones. I'm not talking about a real crime. Damn, I can't plug the phone up because I got the mic. How the sound? How the audio sound? Never been in trouble with the law. Okay, I understand that. That's cool. That's a good thing. But I'm talking about for anybody that ever been in trouble. Have anybody in here ever been to trial? I'm trying to ask some questions to some people that ever had a charge that carried some time and you had to decide should you go to trial or should you take a cop? Okay, I got somebody in here said, "Oh, that's my man right there. I pled guilty before too." Now let me ask you something. Sound on now? Okay, this jump right here must be dead. Hold on, let me see. I don't like the way that little buzzing be on the microphone sometimes. So I really need to charge this joint up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna charge the other one up right now while we on here. Yeah, I don't like the way it be sounding sometimes when I just do the regular, use the regular joint. So since I was sitting right here, had the whole stand up. We good. Jeff and the do is more gangster than you. Shout out to Jeff. That's my man. I like Jeff. Now what? Now what you got to say? I like Jeff. I like his content. Can I ask you a question? 4194. What difference does it make if he more gangster than me or not? 5-year plea deal. Now listen, how many of y'all other opinion that the person had said, I'm never pleading guilty, I'm going to trial. And they ain't never been in those situations where the people say, if you go to trial, we're gonna give you 40 years. If you take this cop, we'll give you 5 years, and you still don't got to tell on nobody. Ain't no, a lot of people ain't never been in those situations where they had to make a decision like that. KD timed they ass out quick. I was just back to the topic, bro. How it sound? How do the mic sound? I got the little mic on. You see the little mic? It's 102 TV. What's up? What it do? You good? Okay. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all interaction with the homie. You say goofy? Who goofy? What you talking about? You and your co-defendants have discussed that? Yeah, I mean, you saying you're not asking me a question, right, KD? You saying how it go when you got co-defendants. We could talk about that too. Because when you got co-defendants, if y'all all have the same goal, which is to beat the case and not to sabotage each other, you supposed to have a conversation with your co-defendants. I mean, that's how it go when you in that type of lifestyle. I mean, imagine three people did something just for the sake of the street talk, right? Imagine three people did something and they get caught, and they all saying they didn't do it, and then one of them say, "Oh, nah, I'm gonna tell them we did it." I ain't got to really explain that no further than that. I took my cop for 3, but if I lost the trial, I would have got 10. I mean, that's a situation where you if you know or you feel that the deck is stacked so much against you, and they give you an option to say, "Look, we're gonna give you 3." I don't know what type of decision they want you to make. Avoid co-defendants as much as you can. That's a good one. You asking by yourself or co-defendants? I'm talking about by yourself, KD. That's how I started because even though the conversation was was surrounding a dude that did have co-defendants, but to my knowledge, all of them pled guilty. I don't know who pled guilty first or anything like that, but that ain't what my point is. Is there another way you can go live except mobile live? Yeah, I could go live on a computer too. Why you ask that? Well, I was locked up with a nigga who was about to get 5 years, but he let niggas get him 15 because he told them they police don't have nothing because they offering you a low number. Sometimes that's the way. I know dude that got offered 3 to 9 and ended up getting 25. Good evening from Destin. Like, subscribe. Stay blessed. Salute. Just tell everything. Just tell everything and tell on everybody and move away. Whoa. I mean, that's your opinion. I guess that's a true opinion, though. I took door number one. Give me 3. If they had me, you could give me 3 too, to be honest with you. I took a cop before. I took a cop to 15 in life. If you know the feds got you, plea out. I mean, especially in a situation where as though it's the best thing, the best scenario. Like I had a situation on a situation. I had a charge that I pled guilty to. There was a living victim and a participating co-defendant that was working with the government against me. Go to trial and get 90 years, or go ahead and lay down for 15. I mean, what do y'all think? That I know Some people are gamblers and they say, "Oh, you can give me 100 joints, I'm gonna beat them." I know dudes that gonna go to trial regardless, and I know dudes that went to trial, got life, and got back home in 10 or 20 years based on them fighting. I mean, that's still an uphill battle. Lamar, what's up? So you just tapped in, man. Tony Lewis said at that time he didn't understand taking a plea. I don't think they offered Tony Lewis no cop though. I would have had to take the 15 and move on. That's what I did in real life. You would have gotten washed up if you took that to trial. Yeah, but I seen dudes get back later. Let me see what my man say. If my man would have said he going to trial, just know we both would have to had to go to trial. And I had an indictment waiting for me if I did go to trial. Yeah, see, man, you come in at the same era and time, so I know you understand what I'm talking about because everything you said right there makes sense. Now, I didn't have a co-defendant on my charge that I was charged as an adult for. Predictions for, I don't do that. No, I didn't mean I said I'm gonna had to fall back. What I meant by that is that when it came to my attention, I know this off subject for a second. When it came to my attention, when I'm trolling or I'm just funning and I'm chilling on the internet, I'm on live. But when I look back at the videos that I have that's a part of my catalog, a lot of them are my live streams. I've been on live about 20 minutes. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm on. I don't know how to explain it. On Gill Arenas, they have two lives at one time, one like a mobile phone live and another regular live. The live you use, you can't scroll YouTube while watching. I ain't sure, that might be some StreamYard type shit. I don't know what that is. New to the channel, the DC dudes I did time with were evil, causing chaos with good Muslims, no in between. That's usually my encounter with dudes from DC too. Either they Muslims or either they Muslim or they on all bullshit. One of the two. Not letting us double tap the like. Now I don't know what that's about. Attica, the worst prison ever. I don't know if it's the worst prison ever, but it's one of the worst. It's definitely one of the worst. Where's Baltimore? What's up with you, homeboy? That Attica ride was one of the worst rides in American prison history. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is you seen. What's up with West Baltimore? Top of the morning, it ain't really top of the morning for me, but it's still morning time. Hit the like button, y'all. They said they having some problem. Y'all got a problem with the like button? When you hit the like button, is a problem? Lay back, relaxing, waiting on the games to come on. What time the games come on today? We rocking with the Texans in Chicago. I think that's who I like too. I mean, I don't know if Chicago can pull it off, but I've been enjoying watching them. Bills at 4:30. What's the first game? 4:30? The Bills game, the first game. What's the first game, y'all? See, I want the Broncos to beat Josh Allen. That's 4:30. Yeah, 4:30. All right. I'll be sitting down somewhere by 4:30. I will be sitting down somewhere by then. Yeah, a lot of people. I know that. Hey, Peter, I know that's you. I got it locked in my head now. What's up, homeboy? Gotta get over there to the I City store, get one of them I City joints. These joints gone though. I'm messed up that I ain't keep this joint fresh. I done start wearing this joint like a regular hat. Hopefully they get some more. These joints right here went fast. These joints went on the first day. You know I had to get me a black joint. Damn, that sounds good. Crab legs, chicken wings, and mumbo sauce for the game. Good men do real things. Allah is merciful. Yeah, I mean that's another conversation to go into the conversation we was having about pleading guilty and going to trial. I know dudes that went to trial and society said, "Oh, they done. They washed up. They gone forever." I mean, and 30 years later, they back on the streets, striving and thriving, excelling. Where y'all from? I see Baltimore heavy in this joint. Chill out. Oh, we got Texas in here. What's up, Texas? What part of Texas we got in here? Oh, yeah, I just popped in. You hit Taliban Glizzy got 18. Got an 18 piece for those jewelry store joints. Yeah, it been all over the internet where I'm from. They even had them on the news. I got my record expunged 5 years ago. It took a long time and some money, but it's the best thing I did. Congratulations. Not even to be on no negative, but there's people catching bids, running up half a ticket, quarter mil, quarter M's. All about what you make, or your time, stock market, business, etc. I went to trial when the plea offer was too crazy. That's what made me say I was going to trial. They offered me 10 years and I was on parole. I was like, fuck it, let's go to trial. And then I fought like hell and they ended up dismissing the case, the one that I'm talking about. You can look it up. I had two co-defendants. They pled guilty. Southeast in here, top of the morning. What's up, Southeast? What color is the clip? Clip is black. Y'all should get him out of here. Naming yourself Taliban and going against the feds, you ain't got a chance. I said black. The clip is black. Jamaican house. I ain't sure. I ain't hip to it. What's that? Jamaican house. What's that? Anybody watch that Amsterdam Connection video? I'm trying to get the last piece of that joint dropped. Well, not the last piece, the third part. I ain't hip to the Jamaican house. I ain't hip to it. Waiting on part three. Okay, DC crime history joints go in. I got a couple more I'm working on. Some of them, they just so old people not hip to them. But it's funny when I run across them when they got pictures and stuff they go with the file. What's the line on the Broncos game? I don't know. I don't know. I gotta get some water. Yeah, let me know what you think when you check it out. I should have the whole thing done in another day or so. I recorded all the audio. I just gotta. I'm a little messed up that I read it and I was rugged, but everybody said that they don't like the pictures covering up the whole thing, so I'm gonna let it go. And what I mean by rugged, like it was early in the morning. I just was trying to hurry up and get it done, and I didn't plan on like visually delivering it. I just planned on showing pictures, but when I got to the picture part, I didn't have a lot of pictures of the '70s that applied to the story. What do? I write books. I'm a youth mentor. I'm a prison advocate. I'm a journalist. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out some of my videos, not just the live ones, but the real videos. Man, we need to be in the gym programming. What's up, Slim? Kenny Mac, what it do? Appreciate the love, man. 1123, what's up, homie? Say it's worth more when you earn it. I can't dispute that. Roy Saturdays. Work with our troubled ones out here. Also, oh yeah, that's what's up. All ages. I pretty much got all ages too. What I do in private. You gotta hustle, no half stepping. Yeah, you gotta do something. Gotta get frankincense in the bed. Good morning. Thanks to Trump, I'm getting an extra 12K on my tax return. Overtime deduction, baby. 12K for real? I ain't never got a tax return like that. Yes, sir. Give them a vision. Yeah, they gotta listen though. They gotta listen. It's 11 o'clock. I gotta get out of here, y'all. Man, appreciate the love. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Check out the videos I got over there on the Amsterdam connection.